Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted us while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku prayer. Please stand. 高天原にかむすまります。かぶろぎかぶろぎのみこともちて、すめみよやかぶりさなぎのみこと、つくしのいむかのたち花のほどのありあらいえみそぎあらいたもときになりませる。あらいどの狼たちもろもろのまがごとすみけられよ。あらいたまえ清めたまえとまおすことのよしを。あます神クリス神青よろずの神たちともに雨の淵駒の実振り立ててきこしめせとかしこみもまおす弥勒大神守りたまえさぎあえたまえ弥勒大神守りたまえさぎあえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえさぎあえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえさぎあえたまえかんながらたまちあえませ。かんながらたまちあえませ。Great God of light, creator and giver of all light, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Brother Meishu-sama, bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Righteousness. Since olden times, those who have stood for justice and righteousness have met with obstacles created by the dark forces. We will fight with all our might, for as long as we live, the snarls and malice of the dark forces, which seek to destroy the world. We are not afraid of criticism directed toward us or malice spoken against us, for we are armed with God's sword, which can destroy all evil. Since our group is spreading God's light to the world, the dark forces are watching each of us for the moments when we are off guard. As the time for the great transition is becoming more imminent, the desperate activity of these evil spirits is growing. Although we speak of them collectively, evil spirits vary in power and importance. The more clouded human beings are, the more easily dark forces can come through negative spiritual cords and manipulate them. Thus, without being aware of what they are doing, humans begin to interfere in God's work. For thousands of years, the dark forces have been acting as they wished, and they are still committing evil deeds, thinking they can continue to do so as in the past, because they do not know that the great turning point is coming in the spiritual world. In the spiritual realm, the forces of darkness do everything they can to keep us from receiving the light. Light is what dark forces fear most. And as the spiritual day advances and the light becomes more intense, the age of terror for them is coming. This is because no evil can withstand the power of God's light, which will weaken and destroy it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Thank you for joining us in prayers for world peace. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience of Felipe Schneider Diaz. He's from Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil. Felipe is 30 years old and has been a Johrei member for 14 years. Over time, he experienced many moments of sadness, seemingly caused by dissatisfaction with himself. Professionally, he's a psychologist, yet in a turn of events, he had no work for more than a year and a half. Additionally, for more than 5 years, he faced troubling difficulties insofar as the relationship with his parents, and he felt assured that they were the ones that needed to change. In February of 2021, Felipe decided to seek guidance from his minister and shared openly his struggles. The minister advised Felipe not to be concerned about the changes he thought his parents should manifest. The minister also guided Felipe to commit himself to our practice of faith in order for him to see things turn around. This guidance uplifted Felipe as he felt a sense of great relief. The following weekend, Felipe and his parents traveled to visit his sister in the countryside. Fascinatingly, the trip was filled with wonderful moments. They exchanged Johrei while in the car, even chatted happily among themselves, which was something that had not happened for a long, long time. After 2 days in the countryside, practicing Johrei as a family and reading the teachings, Felipe realized that he was the one changing. In the subsequent few days, his mother tested positive for COVID-19, whereupon Felipe took the opportunity to dedicate himself to giving service at home. He added frequency to his channeling of Johrei, studied Meishu-sama's teachings, consistently prayed to God and Meishu-sama with hopes to gain clarity as to what he really needed to learn. After a week of continuing with this basic practice of faith, his feelings regarding his parents totally changed. Within him sprouted a desire to express gratitude to them for everything they had done for him since he was born, and he courageously approached them and opened his heart. They were very touched by Philip's words and voiced that they themselves had indeed noticed many positive changes with his attitudes and demeanor over the past 2 weeks. With growing gratitude now nurturing his heart, he began to feel an inner sense of security, as if he were standing on a solid foundation that he never known before. A wonderful feeling of self-confidence and peace within himself arose. The following week, on the recommendation of a church member who works in the same field as Felipe, he was hired and able to assume a job position that totally suited him. Felipe realized, with not even a slight doubt in his mind, that God had provided him with blessings much greater than he could have anticipated or imagined. Today, Felipe is happily enjoying his professional success, and other career possibilities are beginning to manifest. His mother, who was undergoing a purification, is now in good health, and the family relationship feels wholesome. Felipe is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and his ancestors for allowing him to begin the process of creating a paradise-like home. He has committed to giving greater service to the divine work in accord with God's will. Thank you very much for attending this evening service. I wish you a very wonderful Mother's Day weekend to all. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we wish you a very blessed evening.